All right, welcome back, friends. It's Gun Gaming here. We're going to walk you through how to replace your graphics card. Notably, this just has a single 8-pin connector on it. So I'm actually going to be able to connect the double header pin on this, which will help clean up this build a little bit. But the cable management does leave a lot to be desired here. So that's a problem for another day. We'll do a separate video on cable managing this old bad boy. They have there's like a pin at the top of the board that I have brought the cable out from behind this plate instead of trying to loop it in from the top, which I think was a mistake. But there's not a ton of room on the back side of this MZXT case. And I know this is like one of the most famous ones in the market right now just because it's great bang for buck. Make sure you're buying the one that doesn't have the beautiful RGB header that also ruins your computer by starting fires. Go watch some Steve if you want to learn what I'm talking about. Okay, so first things first, we're going to swap to our Phillips head. Just had the flat head attached to replace my, to put on my anti-static wrist strap. Make sure you have that attached as well. Then you're just going to go ahead and looks like it's just seated on actually the bottom one, not the top one. So I pulled out, I think the top one is just for some certain motherboards that can squeeze all of that pizzazz in there. Not an issue we're working with. Just remove that. That should be the only screw I think that we need to take off. Oh no, there's one on the top as well. It does screw into two places. Go ahead and set those aside on our mat. It's high contrast locations. Okay, now the only other thing that people sometimes forget, it's kind of a big deal, super annoying, is finding this button right here. You need to depress this to release the graphics card. I think like Paul from Paul's Hardware loves to use chopsticks. You want, that's probably a wiser choice than using a drill bit. We'll just go with the flat for right now. Yeah, you can hear it like crunching a little bit. You gotta love that when your silicon is crunching. Oh, let's make sure to just detach this power cable now. I think there's a little lever on here. Obnoxiously, this is one of those like double 6-pin options. So you have to like scooch them together. There's no labeling either, so you just kind of have to be a genius about it. They do kind of nestle in on only one section, so you can't like swivel it around and do it on the other one. But luckily most PSUs have come around on that. Alright, so there are like 2 buttons on the rest of these. I may just go downstairs and grab a chopstick. I think Paul might be on something, because this is super obnoxious. One note, the Asus Strix boards, I think, not the Hero, come with like a quick release mechanism now. There we go, I got it. You'll feel it pop and it'll stick. Then you just lift straight up, and then you gotta like jiggle this out because it's gonna get stuck on that IO shield on the backside. There you go. There's the bad little boy. In terms of sizing, I actually think the 2070 is like a little bit longer here than the 3060 Ti. At least like the fan component. No, the chipset is definitely longer. can see that in there. Let me flip it around. Ugh. Anxiety inducing a little bit. Okay, I have the I/O lined up, so the chipsets are lined up on the other side. You can just see how much longer that one is. Let's go ahead and set that 2070 to the side. We'll be boxing that bad boy up and sending him to a lucky customer. There's a QR code at the bottom of this. I have no idea what for or what purpose it portends to serve. That GPU did suck up a lot of dust though. All right, then you just want to orient it correctly. You obviously can't do it this way, so there's only really one way to do it. Just go ahead and slot it through the I/O shielding here. I do have this extra little cover. I think we're just gonna remove that just for sanity's sake. Just pop it up a little bit, give myself a little bit more clearance. All right, then just make sure it's in. Sit it in. You'll feel the pop snap. And then that clip that we released earlier will automatically force itself down. Oh, and I thought this was a double 8-pin, but it looks like it's just single 8, so that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. I really wanted to. I think you could like cut this off, but I don't want to deal with having to crimp all that and stuff. When we make a later video on cable managing, we'll deal with that then. All right, and then you'll notice that there is a square hole. All the rest of these are like pointed a little bit at the bottom, so it is going to prevent you from swapping that location of where you have this extra 2 pins seated. Oh, but it is. I remember this being annoying when I did it the first time, and I feel similarly the second time. All right. All right, we're connected. Let's go ahead and add back in our screws on the rear side. Lock this bad boy in place. And that's all there is to replacing your GPU. Not a whole lot to it. Honestly, I think with a lot of gratitude, it's probably the easiest component to replace. Which makes a lot of sense since it is the primary component to a gaming build. I mean, your CPU matters, but there's a lot of attention and detail paid to the CPU with its own massive cooler and heatsink and etc. But there is a screw here. I don't necessarily know that this does anything, but in the event that I want it later, that's the best place to keep it. I think it will kind of keep it from moving laterally. Not like that would really happen anyway, but could. All right, we're just gonna pop this I/O shield all the way back down. In a little bit. Like it got smashed or something. Not quite squeezing in on one side. Not a big deal. It just mostly is here to keep some dust from coming in, so not a big deal at all. All right, and then I think theoretically you could use that for vertical mount, but that would be so little room in this case. And I can't do that because I have a high quality network card down here at the bottom. I think that this is like as far as it's gonna let me move the camera. You can see it just here at the very bottom of the shot. Boop, boop, boop. This bad little boy right there. All right, well, that's it. Like I said, not a whole lot to it. And I only have the stock fans in this case, which obnoxiously, like, it fits a 140, but it just has a 120 mounted. And it's been fine. The thermals on the GPU weren't always the best. I couldn't overclock it as much as some others had done, so I think that was much more on the case than on the card. But I still got pretty good performance, and I still was in like 85th percentile on user benchmark, so not phenomenal, but good enough. Let's just kind of squish these cables out of the way. And I will reseat the tempered glass panel. There you go, just a quick bath with some Windex. These things really are just fingerprint magnets. If you're building a new computer, I strongly suggest not messing with your with the glass cover until you have fully seated it. It just gets so gross. I don't love how kind of insecure this panel is, and the screw is like so wonky. But that'll do it, my friends. Just throw this back on for good measure. Have my Windex dampened cloth here. Yeah, it comes with like a stupid warning label that they use like actual like sticker glue on. It just makes it gross. So nothing really special. Looks pretty nice. No RGB or anything. It's just a 3060 Ti, so this isn't like a mind-blowing card. Although you'd think after shelling out $500, they could just add in a little bit of RGB onto this bad boy. But that's a complaint and video for another day. Until next time, my friends. Good luck out there. Have some fun. Keep on building. Bye for now.